Hey guys, thanks for joining the practice today. We're going to focus on your back, and particularly the lower back, mid-back region. We're going to focus on strengthening out that part of your body. We stretch a lot in yoga. We do a lot of forward folding and back bending, but there's also ways that we can work on strengthening and making the spinal column strong and sustainable. So let's do it together. Let's begin in a child's pose position. So we're going to come around on our hands and knees. Try seeing today in your child's pose if you can take your knees out a little bit wider, like the width of your mat, a little bit wider than usual. You're going to sit with your big toes together. Try pressing your hips back towards your heels. If they don't touch, that's okay. Just try sitting back against them as deep as you can. And then we're going to stretch your arms and your hands up towards the top edges of your mat. And then let's go ahead and rest your head. And take a few breaths here. You can start your practice today just feeling your hands down on the floor, just feeling your armpits pressing down to the floor as well, your shoulders. As you're stretching your arms, feeling a stretch down the side, back, both sides. And then draw your focus to your hips. And then your spinal column. And just rest in here for another minute. Remember to take deep breaths. Breathing in deeply and letting go. Good. Let's come up to your tabletop pose today. We're going to go down on your forearms. Strengthening practice. We're going to try to take a forearm plank. And this is going to be nice without putting pressure on the wrist just yet. You'll go ahead and step your toes to the back of your mat. Try to just relax the hips here. It's a challenging position. I want you to challenge yourself. Do your best here to try to hold your forearm plank. Breathing deeply in and letting go. Strengthening your midsection. Deeply in and letting go. Let's try to do that about 3 more. Deeply in, letting go. Deeply in. 2. Good, you got this. Let it go. And 1 more. Deeply in. Hold. And letting go. Good. Lower down your knees and your hips to the floor. Good job. Let it go. And lower into the Sphinx pose position. We strengthen and we stretch in the practice today. Let's try to strengthen out your lower body here. Pressing down into your lower body. You're going to press down into your lower back. And taking a backward bend. So notice here it's not a big backward bend. It's not a big stretching. It's more strengthening. More like we're coming out of that forearm plank. We're still engaging, but the position is knees down, lower back down, and chest up. Try to look up. And We're going to do the full cobra position, but go through a little bit more step by step. So lower down. Rest your hands right under the shoulders. You want to try to line up your fingertips with the top edges of your shoulders. Try keeping arms in, elbows in tight. All we're going to do here is come up a little bit off the ground. A lot of strengthening is going to go on here in your back. Try drawing your head down a little bit so it's even. And looking down just a little bit. We're going to come up in a baby cobra. Just barely coming off the mat. A lot of strengthening out here in the lower back. Coming up for that back bend. Press down a little bit more in your arms and hands. Peel your back up into cobra pose. So you can keep the elbows bent here a little bit. Feel that stretch in your spine. And full cobra. Exhale, come down. Let's do that back bend, everything again. Starting with the baby cobra. And keep your gaze somewhat down or somewhat ahead of you. And come up into a full cobra. Inhale, open your heart and chest. Good. Exhale, sit back where we started in child's pose. You can take knees wide. And resting down your lower back. So a lot of good back bends that we've done already. Try to be gentle, listen to your body. We're just getting started today. We're going to come up into a tabletop pose and then cross your legs and head into a seat. We'll bring the bottoms of your feet in. Now a couple of our sitting down postures. We'll go to the forward fold. Try to keep those feet bound together. Position your shoulders and hips in nice alignment. Keep the form gently. Try to keep your body going and resting forward. On inhale, lift your head and come up. We're going to cross your legs and do a seat position. Another way to work the spine and strengthening it is twisting. So let's twist over to your right side now. And grab your right knee, take a deep breath, and you get a nice spinal twist. Allow that to feel nice. Kind of like energizing, right? If you're getting into it, you're lifting your back and chest up, and then you're twisting. Good. All right, come back. Let's go over to your left side. Grab your knee, bring your left arm behind you, and you got the twist. Inhale, and exhale, twist. Good. Come back to center, and relax your hands down. Inhale. Let's get into the shoulders a little bit here too. If the shoulders are loose, everything else below our shoulders, around the sides of our body and the back, feel a lot looser as well. And we hold on to a little bit of tension around the shoulders and neck. So let's try to loosen them up. And roll those shoulders back and down. You can get into it. And once you do this a couple times, start to bring your breath into it as well. Inhale and exhale as you draw them down. Let's see if we can loosen up a little bit of space around your shoulders and neck. Do a couple of head and neck rolls. Inhale and bring your breath into it, right? And exhale. You're just allowing your ear to roll over to the other shoulder. Sometimes those little small neck rolls, you get into more details. So it doesn't have to be really grindy or really big neck rolls. Just small detailed ones are good too. And do about 2-3 more on each side. And working our way up the spine for the practice today. Now that we have lower back, middle back, a little bit more of the upper back loosened up today, let's come back on your hands and knees and do a few cats and cow positions. Try to line your shoulders up over your hands, your knees below the hips. And let's start. Inhale, breath, look up. Exhale, breath rounds your spine. And try bringing your breath into it. Bring it into the body. Try to breathe along with your movement. And feel a nice connection with your breath. And breathing along with your nice movement today. Feels awesome to be on our mats. Feels awesome to be moving. And we're alive, y'all. We're alive and we're breathing. Hopefully we're well. Let's do like one last one here. Round the back, round the body. And then inhale, look up. Good. So doing great here. Let's keep adding those child's pose in, because each time we're getting a little bit deeper, we're getting a little bit more longer. And as well, this is yoga, good time for relaxation. In this child's pose, let's lift your hands and walk them out to the left side of your mat. I want you to get a stretch down the right side back. A stretch on good into the right side body. Should feel this stretch from your hips through the middle part of your back on the side and through the shoulder, through the armpit, through your hands. Let's take one large deep breath. And then we'll lift your hands, walk them out to the other side. Take your time. So now we're going to reach the hands out to the right side. And feel that good stretch down the left part of your back, from the hips, through the shoulder, through your hands. So add in your breath work here. And we'll come back to the center position. Nice, long, deep child's pose. And place your forehead down. All right, let's come up. We'll stand on the knees for a moment here. So we have the lower back right here. Place one hand. Maybe feel the lower back. Place both hands. Sometimes I like giving them the lower back a little tap, or make little fists, right? Gentle. Little taps just to get the lower back more awake, stronger. You can get the back of your fist here too. So just want to tell you here, around the lower back is your core. So when our lower back isn't strong enough, or our core isn't strong enough, right, it takes a lot of tension and pressure on the lower back. So we're going to go into a downward facing dog, where we're going to use the lower back and strengthen it, but we should really be using the core and drawing in the abdominals. So let's press down onto your hands and then press into a downward facing dog. Your lower back area is lifting up. Around your hips are lifting up, so you're making a V, an upside down V position. But on the sides of your back, you're really getting in and using your core. So hold down dog. Try to strengthen your midsection area again. Holding that downward facing dog. And then we're going to glide forward into cobra position here. So I'm going to walk the feet back a little bit. I'm just going to lower down the hips and go straight to a cobra. So from down dog, lower down the hips. Lift the chest, lift your head straight to cobra. Or backward bend now. Make sure you can breathe in fully here. Cobra pose. Great stretch again for the shoulders and the neck. Let's tuck under the toes one at a time. Back to downward facing dog. We're going to make it into a forward fold at the back of your mat now. Press down into the feet and then take your hands and walk them back. And then once you get to the back of your mat, bend your knees. Keep those knees bent. Drop your head down in a forward bend. Loosen the neck again. Shake it. No, yes, a few times. Try taking your arms and wrapping them around the back of your legs. And then lowering down the arms, the hands. Coming out nice and slowly to a standing position. You can come up vertebrae by vertebrae up into mountain pose position. Keep your spine and posture straight. Inhale through the nose. Lift up the crown of your head. Take a breath out and relax your shoulders. Good. So now we're at the back of our mat. We're going to do a couple of lunges. Take your hands on the waist. Take a step forward with your right foot. And we're going to go down to a lunge. Lunges are great because our spine gets in a straight position, but we're also strengthening out the legs. And you come down into that lunge. You can stretch the arms up here. And we're going to bring it down to a low lunge. I'm going to wiggle that right foot up a little bit. You can crank it right up to the front of your mat. And then we're going to stretch out the hamstrings. Usually when I have someone with any lower back issues, it is related to the hamstrings. Hamstrings are tight, right? It's connected more to the lower back and vice versa. So if we have loosened up and stretched hamstrings, it will for sure relieve a lot of lower back. Okay, let's go back in that low crescent lunge. Then we're going to lift up that back knee into runner's lunge. Try sweeping the arms overhead and then open the arms into warrior two. Peaceful warrior. We're going to do a little flow here. Down. Take your downward facing dog, stepping back, and then straight to cobra. Inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog. Once back in that down dog, tuck your toes, and then walk your hands back towards the feet. Try to get into a forward fold, back of the mat. We're back here, y'all. Doing great. Just bend forward. Try with legs straightening out a little bit more. Lower your arms and hands. Take a nice slow roll up. We're going to go into mountain position. Crown of the head lifted. Relax your arms and hands down. We'll get to the back of your mat if you're not there yet. So that right foot stays back, that left foot lunges forward. Find a high crescent lunge. Try to keep your hips even. Find your center. Both knees are going to be in a slight bend position. This front leg a little bit more. Take a few deep breaths. Find your lunge. Right, strengthen the spine, strengthen your legs. Go down all the way to that low lunge. Tap down your knee. We'll work on the front leg now, shimmying forward. Right, you can crank it, you can get that heel sliding out a little bit. Just worry about the front leg, don't worry about the back leg, don't worry about anything, but take a forward bend position over the left side. And loosen your hamstring. We're going to set up your high lunge now. Get ready to pop that back knee off the floor. Coming out slowly. Try to find your center. Lift your arms and hands into a high lunge. Open them up into a warrior two position. Go up to a peaceful warrior, and we'll travel down. Stepping back to a down dog, gliding forward, and doing our yoga flow. Up into cobra. Your spine gets a little more loose here, it opens up. And tucking toes. We'll go back to downward facing dog. And then down on the knees, we'll do our child's pose again. And come up. So think energizing, strengthening whole body, particularly the back here. We'll go back to that forearm plank. Right into it, try not to think about it. Let's go straight into it. 10 seconds here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down the knees and your hips to the ground. Sphinx position. Try keeping hands loose. Doesn't matter where they are. Just kind of make sure that they're pretty light, not too grippy. And you can do palms down or palms up. Now once you lower your whole body down to the mat, we're going to keep those arms stretched over your head, over to the front of your mat. So you might know where we're going from here. We're going to try lifting your legs and arms off the mats. Notice where you feel gripped and notice where you're working the most. Try to bring that focus to your lower back space. So here we go. On your inhale, I want you to lift up. So ready? We're going to lift up the legs. We're going to lift up the arms. We're going to lift everything off the mat. Inhale and go. Superman pose. Imagine here you're flying around like Superman. Lift those arms, lift those legs. 3, 2, 1. And let it go. You guys, that is so great to do for the back, for your spine. And I like doing those in twos. at least. So let's do that again. After your inhale breath, we're going to take Superman's pose. Take an inhale. Lift up again. Lift up your legs. Kick them back. Try lifting up your arms as much as you can. Do this. Hold it for as long as you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let go. Lower your chest and chin back down. Nice work. So that is how you strengthen the spine. We're going to take your left ear down and your arms down to the sides. And find a comfortable position for your neck to now rest. Arms down to the sides. All we're going to do is just move the head over to the next side. So rest your right ear down. Keep those arms rested down to the sides. And bring your head back through the center. We're going to place your hands down under the shoulders. Let's press all the way up into tabletop pose. Breathe in. Good. Take your knees out again. Do a child's pose. And now come up to stand on the knees. So hopefully you feel good. You're more warmed up around the lower back, where we can place the hands here and do one of our back bends, camel pose. So sometimes I'm pretty loosened up and deep in those back bends. And sometimes we can overstretch here as well. So I want you to try not to overstretch. Think more strengthening, pulling in everything together using the core. So press those hands against the lower back. Squeeze everything in tightly, and we're going to try pressing the hips forward just as much as you can. Don't overstretch or go too deep here. I'm going to keep that chin tucked into my chest here because I'm just focusing on that lower back. Middle back is going to start to open up a little bit more here. Great stretch for the spine. Just keep the hands here under the lower back. Try keeping the chin down. You should feel a little warm sensation. Nothing too strenuous or painful. Just try to breathe. Take it easy here. And coming back up. I'm going to sit back on the heels here. I'm going to tuck the toes under because that creates a nice stretch for the toes. You get a little bonus points there if you want to hold that and do it. What we're going to go do is 2 more times, a little bit deeper, a little bit more in camel pose. But starting the same. So standing back up on the knees, we'll go to the next part. Just do as much as you can. Gently. Come back, press your hips forward. Now a little bit more here. We're going to trust yourself, your body, and lower your hands down once it finds the heel. And both heels. Takes a lot of practice. Take your time. Go into camel pose. So even if you stay at the first part of this, you get a tremendous amount of benefit. I'm going to come back to the first part, one at a time. Please take your hands back to the lower back. Keep that chin in. And come up. Slow. So already this area feels much looser. I'm actually not overstretching too much here. I could go deeper, but I'm not, right? I'm saving a little bit of room and space to think more about strengthening the spine as well. Strengthening and stretching. So take your time here. We're going to do one more. On this set, I'm going to do everything the same, but this time I'm going to get more of the upper part of the spine, so we are working our way up to drop the head back. So if you have any difficulties around the neck, around the shoulders, be a little bit more gentle. Listen to your body. Please listen to your body as you do this. So we'll begin the same. Going into camel pose, hands press into the lower back. This is our last one. I'm going to go for full camel here. So I'm going to drop one hand back, then the other as I search around, right? Find it. And slowly I'm going to drop the head back and just let it go. Nice, good stretch here. Opening the shoulders, opening the chest, opening the back. Place your hands under the lower back again. And sit back for that last time. Good. Nice job today. You did it. Whatever it is that you did, right? You did it. And we need to celebrate a little bit more of when we get a little bit deeper into some of our postures, right? If you get back a little bit more deeper into some pose, right? Celebrate it. Enjoy it. So let's bring knees in a little bit closer together now and do a child's pose like this. Keeping those knees and legs in, resting into that child's pose with your hands back to reverse child's pose. Go ahead here and massage your forehead. Let it relax, let any tension go. Lift onto your hands and knees. Begin stretching your right leg out and bring your left foot in. So now we'll begin more of our lower back stretching. We'll do a one-legged forward fold stretch. Take a deep breath and bow over the right leg. And reach out slowly until maybe your forehead comes close to your right knee. Bring yourself up, do a little bit of a seated back bend, and we'll switch the legs, bringing left leg out, bringing right foot in. And slowly going down to the left leg, take a deep breath, and bow. Should feel it right in your lower back, right on the side here. And then lift your head, coming up into a little bit of a seated heart opener. And then extend both legs out and fold forward. Right in that lower back space. Take your focus right here first. And then bring your body down just a little bit deeper. And coming out slow. Good. We'll roll on to the back here now. Hug your knees into your chest and massage that lower back space. I'm going to really focus on just getting into that lower back. Of course, the middle back and the rest of the back will get a nice massage here too, but just kind of focusing more on that lower back space. So I might come off the mat a little bit with my head, and then I just want to let it go and rest that head down on the mat. We'll get into the right hip now and cross the right ankle over your left knee. So the hip opener is an important stretch here too for the lower back. All hamstrings, hips, all connected to the lower back. Let's bring your right leg down and your left leg on top of your right knee. We'll bring your heel or your ankle above the knee. Remember to breathe. We're going to let that go. Squeeze the legs in together tight and we'll massage around again. Try massaging back and forth a few times. So all the way up and all the way back. So be gentle. We'll come all the way up into our seated position today. Whenever we're up sitting, seat is actually really great for the lower back. If you have any pain, any issues with your back, try just sitting down on the floor. Get anchored, move around. We're going to rest here for a couple of minutes and try finding an evenness with your hips and shoulders stacked over each other. Legs crossed in just a comfortable position. Finding some kind of hierarchy to your body. So the back straight and finding a hierarchy of your head over the shoulders, over your chest, over your arms. And finding a proud and yet comfortable seat. So this is the practice here. Is we're just going to get anchored really heavy in your body. Feel the breath. Pay close attention to that lower back space. Pay really close attention to your lower back. Notice how it feels. Notice how any sensations feel. Where are those sensations? Can you bring your breath to those sensations a little bit more? And sometimes we're so used to sitting down on comfy, comfortable couches and it feels nice, but our spines usually slouch. But when we're sitting, especially in this position, we have this opportunity to be more aware of their spine. So be aware. You might feel a little uncomfortable at first, but try challenging yourself to be with that discomfort for a little bit. If you can, breathe into all that sensation and find a hierarchy to your body. Find the crown of your head lifting you up, creating this broadened sensation around your body. I'm going to give you all a couple more moments here. And also try, most importantly, to relax your mind. If you can, let your mind relax. Breathe. And try to relax your mind. Take a deep breath. Try to relax the mind. Relax your mind. If you would like to head to a wall, maybe, and place your legs up against them, that'll bring more blood flow to the lower back. So bring your hips, one of your hips, as close to the wall today. We'll find the legs up position, feet up. I'm going to bring my arms back overhead today too. So you get some blood flow down the legs and down your arms. We're going to begin a little visualization here today too. So I want you to just first position your body comfortably where it's at. Notice where you're at, as kind of funny or strange as it is, right? Just kind of take note of like where you're at. This is what you're doing. You're beginning to relax the body, your legs, your feet. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathe. Keep breathing. And then we're going to visualize the blood flow, the relaxation from your feet. Know that blood flow is changing. It's going from your feet down to your ankles. All that blood flow that is usually going down to the feet, we're now draining it and going down from the feet to the ankles, passing by the knee joint. So flushing out our system from the feet, through the legs, through the knee joints, and then pressing that blood flow down to your hips. So let's try feeling that sensation of that blood flow. Blood passes from your feet, toes, down to the ankles, down the knees, down the hips, and that's just continuing. So you might feel a little bit of that. You might try to just continue visualizing that blood flow, that relaxation spreading around. Then we're going to place that attention to the hips and then go right to the lower back, feeling a little bit of relief of the lower back right here. The legs up can be really great relief for the spine, particularly, again, your lower back. Just a few more breaths here. Relax. From your hips, your blood flow continues flowing, and we send more blood to our heart. So legs up can be a very beneficial position for our cardiovascular system. Conditions of the heart can be improved greatly here by keeping those legs, feet stretched up so we pump more blood directly to the heart. Let's try giving yourself just a little bit more time here. Try to settle. Try to relax. Just breathe. If you wish to here, your legs can stretch out a little bit wider, making a more V shape. And then slowly when you're ready, you can let your legs trickle down to one side and moving pretty slowly out to the side of your body. Now we're going to move it up into a seated position today. When you're ready, lift yourself back up. Come back onto your hips and pressing down to the lower back. And so I hope this practice today gave you any relief, strengthening, strength around the lower back, or something that you needed today. Hope you enjoyed the practice, and I'll thank you so much for joining today. Namaste.